This essay is the first part in a two-part series about pictures and paintings, that were given to me by two different tour guides when I was in Myanmar, what used to be called Burma recently. And that has never happened to me ever in all my trips overseas. When I've had tour guides, I've never received gifts from tour guides. And the four pictures or paintings that I have, from my perspective, are priceless. Partly due to their meaning and their artistic presence, but it's also a way that I can remember some of my guides that I've had over the years. And both of them have given me two different pictures or paintings, both sets of guides. The first, this first essay is about Than Tu U, who was my tour guide up near Mandalay, and he and I got along quite well. I mean, he was a good tour guide, but he was an artist. And I've taught art history. I mean, I taught art history when I was still an undergraduate in college. I taught art history subsections in a required art history class at Muscatine College when I was in my senior year in college. I wasn't even out of college, and I was a teaching assistant for a professor of mine. And I've taught, in the last 20 or some years, I've taught loads of art history classes. In fact, if I could teach art history for the rest of my life, every day, I'd do it. I mean, it's something I relate to, and that's one of the reasons I like my tour guide that I had near Mandalay. And I told him about my teaching art history, and I said to him, I said, I know that going to your studio is not on the itinerary for the trip around Mandalay, but I'd love to see your gallery. Last day I was there, we went to see his gallery, and I met his wife, and they showed me around, and he had, I mean, and one of the thing that, unless you're taking an art history class, you aren't going to know this, but most artists either do portraitures, still lifes, or landscapes. Rarely do you find an artist that will do two of the three, and I've never come across an art. Well, maybe Leonardo back in the Renaissance, but the average artist in the world today doesn't morph back and forth between still lifes, portraitures, and landscapes. He did, and he has, I took, I mean, you can imagine how many pictures I took of, and I just took a handful of them, and they're in the essay. So this essay is about, I mean, in a way, it's the serendipitousness of life sometimes. He was my tour guide. He was going to take me around the areas around Mandalay that I hadn't seen in my first visit to Myanmar, and it just happened to come up about paintings. And then I discovered that he was an artist, and you look at some of the examples. I mean, there are tons of, not tons, there are dozens and dozens of paintings in his home, in his studio, and kind of down the street level of his home. And it just absolutely amazes me of how artistic this tour guide was. And it just happened to come up. I could have had him as a tour guide and enjoyed his time with him and have missed out on understanding him and what really makes him tick. One of the paintings, you'll see that I've taken photographs of the paintings that he's given me. One is an actual painting, the other was a charcoal and pencil drawing. The charcoal pencil drawing was some nice looking guy that he met someplace, me. And the other one was the Yubin Bridge, or what is also called the Teak Bridge, which is not far from Mandalay. And both those paintings are hanging in my home at this very moment, and I go past them every day and think about Myanmar and think about him and his artwork. So I appreciate your time listening and watching this video, and I hope you enjoy the article. At the end of the article is his address, his email address, telephone number, anything like that. And if you're into art, you're making a mistake not contacting him and seeing what else he has. Man, I'll tell you, he is very, very good as a tour guide, but he's excellent as an artist. So thank you for your time listening and watching this video and reading this essay, and take care.